Speaking of war, in Pakistan, the Prime Minister is fighting for survival. You know what's playing out there. A Prime Minister struggling to cling on to power. Opposition leaders are coming together to take him down. There is a supposed threat to his life. A threat letter is apparently doing the rounds. There are emotionally charged addresses on live television. And a Super Sunday the country is eagerly waiting for. In 2 days from now, Imran Khan will face a trust vote. The Pakistani Prime Minister has already declared the result. He says those who vote against him will be called traitors. Those who vote against him will be voting against Pakistan. In an exhaustive address to the nation, the former cricketer cried foreign conspiracy. American conspiracy, to be specific, before retracting. He said America was punishing him for pursuing an independent foreign policy, for flying to Russia. Now, you and I know better. Forget independent foreign policy. In Pakistan, even domestic policy is not independent. It is not shaped in Islamabad. It is decided in Rawalpindi, at the headquarters of the Pakistani army. The army has been running Pakistan for decades now. You must have heard commentators say that Pakistan is not a country with an army, but an army with a country. So where is that army now? Are they missing in action, or are they acting behind the scenes? Well, here's what we know so far. Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa paid Imran Khan a visit at his home. With him was the ISI chief, Nadeem Anjum. This was on the 30th of March, the day Imran Khan was originally scheduled to address the nation. Reports say the army asked Imran Khan to not make that address. Well, we now know that he did it anyway, 1 day later though, and this was not the first meeting with the army chief during this crisis. They reportedly met on the 18th of March as well. What did Bajwa tell Imran Khan then? That the army would maintain neutrality in the no-confidence vote. That's good. But here's another way of looking at it. The army will not help Imran Khan. They will not bail him out. There are whispers in the corridors of power. The army has apparently dumped Imran Khan, the same man whom they'd picked in 2018. Experts say of all the Pakistani prime ministers, Imran Khan is the closest to the army. He, after all, is the selected PM. So why would the army try to get rid of him? Perhaps because he's been crossing the red line way too often. In 2019, Army Chief Bajwa sought a term extension, but there was a hiccup in Islamabad. The army took note. In 2021, the ISI chief was retiring. The army picked a replacement, but Imran Khan insisted that the old chief continue in office. Reports say there was a tiff over this between the Prime Minister and the army chief. This was strike two. By then, the army already had a list of complaints against Imran Khan. They were unhappy with the PTI's governance, its handling of the pandemic, and the growing distance between Islamabad and Rawalpindi. So soon after the ISI appointment fiasco, rumors of Imran Khan's exit began circulating. Then came reports that said that Imran Khan was trying to appoint a new army chief. Needless to say, this made matters worse. And what happened in the last few months has not helped Imran Khan. He burnt his bridge with Washington. He visited Russia the day the Kremlin invaded Ukraine. Ideally, it should not have bothered the army, given they themselves openly lean towards China. But experts say they wanted someone in Islamabad who at least had a hotline with the White House. Imran Khan is not that someone. He does not have the hotline. Remember, he's still waiting for Biden's phone call. It's a bit of an international joke now. So one thing's for sure, come Sunday, the army will not be neutral. Will they be backing Shehbaz Sharif then? Reports say he is the acceptable choice of the establishment now. So Bajwa is likely to be silently cheering for Sharif from the wings. Imran Khan knows the military's game all too well. He's decided to play till the last ball, he says.
नहीं, उन्होंने ऑप्शंस दी थी मुझे और वो ऑब्वियसली हमारी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है. उन्होंने ऑफ़र दी कि जी 3 चीज़ें हैं, या आप अदम एतमाद का वोट चले जाएं, या आप इस्तीफ़ा दे दें, और या इलेक्शन. हमने कहा इलेक्शन सबसे बेहतर तरीका है. इस्तीफ़ा मैं कभी सोच भी नहीं सकता.
As we speak, he's spinning the foreign conspiracy theory. Reports say Pakistan summoned the US envoy. They lodged a protest. Washington has rubbished all the allegations. Ned Price is the spokesperson for the US State Department. He said there is no truth in this allegation that Washington is working with Pakistan's opposition to unseat Imran Khan.
Well, we are closely following developments in Pakistan, and we respect, we support Pakistan's constitutional process and the rule of law, but when it comes to those allegations, there is no truth to them.
I wouldn't vouch for how big of a player Washington is in this game. It's actually Imran Khan versus the army, and Sunday will decide which side wins. Pakistan watchers will likely put their money on Rawalpindi. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.